You win. Perfect.
I don't need a piece of paper to do an Ultimate Warrior promo because the captain's got them all up here. I'm going to do one for you right now. One of my favorites, WrestleMania VI, Skydome versus Hulk Hogan, Intercontinental Champion versus the World Heavyweight Champion. I'm pretty sure it went a little something like this. Me.
As you, Hulk Hogan, travel to WrestleMania. Tear down the cockpit door, Hulk Hogan. Take the two pilots that have already made the sacrifice. Assume the controls, Hulk Hogan. Shove that control into a nosedive, Hulk Hogan. And you will soon be close to parts unknown.
Upon the examination of the galaxies of space, images begin to appear. Images of strange and powerful forces. But of all the forces in the universe, the two most powerful, Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, prepare to explode. Champion versus champion. Title for title. It's the ultimate challenge. It's WrestleMania!
Welcome to OSW Review, the old school wrestling video podcast. Filmed in awesome vision, we are a mouthful of awesome balls, served with awesome sauce, and a side of sports. We chronologically critique the Hulkamania era pay-per-view by pay-per-view, and tonight it's the ultimate challenge. This is your host, Superface Jay Hunter.
Yeah, right.
Joining me as ever, the fabulous Steves, Mr. OC.
Alright.
V1.
Alright.
It's 1990 and it's WrestleMania 6. Let's do it to it.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land.
April Fool's Day, 1990, from the Skydome in Toronto, Canada. Now the Rogers Centre, with a much less awesome name.
Yeah.
64,287 in a sellout crowd, at about 3,000 comps, with 550,000 people watching at home.
Hold on, it's not called the Skydome anymore.
Yeah, it's called the Rogers Centre.
Yeah, sounds like a swingers club.
Hey!
I wanted to say that last time, and I was like, I need to bring it up again.
Gotta wait 12 years to bring that up. This is the last WWF pay-per-view to be transmitted via CCTV, which was like how they did WrestleMania 1 and 2 and stuff like that. So it's, technology has moved on, and so they had 55,000 on CCTV, and that was kind of a shit number.
Although it's, 55,000 people that wouldn't have watched it otherwise, so it's still bringing in revenue.
Mm-hmm. An amazing constellation star sign graphics opening the show as Vince pulls another throat-burning stormer. It was awesome. Our commentators tonight are Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura.
Great to have the two of them back, by the way.
You're missing Shavante.
Oh, fuck off, Tony, and your goofy hat that he wouldn't wear last month. Still angry about that. You know the way normally at every WrestleMania we get the US national anthem and the propaganda video with the planes and the bald eagles. We had a Canadian anthem and propaganda video, which was far better than what we usually get. Rather than showing soldiers and tanks and bullshit like that, we get to see lovely lakes and forests and mountains. And I hate Yanks.
A nice surprise was having Robert Goulet sing it as well. Splice in that footage, yeah?
Or don't.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. Batmobile lost its wheel and the Joker got away. Hey, thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry, kid.
My copy was the Coliseum home video VHS, which is 2 hours 42. You guys?
I hate you.
Yeah, you fucking prick.
Gave us the WWF version with their no fucking proper songs.
Hold on, now I'm more worried about the length. 3 hours 36 minutes.
Oh, so yours is 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
You cunt.
The opening match. Right, we got Koko B. Ware with Ricky, as Fink calls it. Did Frankie die? But Monsoon calls the bird Frankie, so we're alright. You get to see the awesome WrestleMania mini ring entrance.
I love it.
Cart. Yeah. Brilliant.
The luster was kind of lost because later on in the show the camera pans to the back and you see some gobshite just there pressing the button to make it go forward. That took away a lot of the kind of...
Did you think they just had some midgets running, or... or it was like Bedrock, you know, and the Flintstones?
Koko is looking huge.
In a good way or bad way?
fat?
No, I think he's looking pretty buff.
I thought he had a bit of a gut on him.
Versus Rick the Model Martel in full gimmick with theme, tights, and arrogance, which is his cologne, which is in an atomizer, which he uses as a foreign object.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a gimmick.
Jay, you're missing the Kevin Keegan perm.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
You look quite like
Kevin Keegan, yeah. I know.
I'd love it if I won this match.
We're still fighting for this title, and he's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something. And I'll tell you, honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
Oh, do you guys remember the Nitro cologne in WCW? Halloween Havoc 99. You remember Medusa? She went around with, oh, there's the Nitro cologne. You guys like it? And she went up to Bobby Heenan and started spraying it in his face. And he's like, oh, it smells like shit. Stayed of it. Like, oh.
that stuff smells horrible. That stinks.
Someone opened the drains, like, who's gonna buy this now?
Marks.
Actually, I have to say, Martel, when he heel turned, he was initially paired with Slick, but it was so shit that he dropped it immediately.
Oh, Slick is shit.
Shit, yeah.
He sucks.
Alright, start us off. Martel, cheap shots, Koko B. Ware to kick off.
There is one hilarious spot where Rick Martel takes a bump from nothing.
Throws Koko to the outside, right next to some big pole. And in my version, there was a dirty jump cut to the finish.
Martel slaps on the Boston Crab and gets the win.
Yeah, he goes over pretty strong. Yeah, pretty nothing match. Koko was over big time. Martel, not so much.
Yeah, Koko here gives the verbal submission. He's, I've got a question for you. Either one can answer. What year was the tap out introduced?
Ken Shamrock in 98. No, it was 97 for
You get the 14-inch colour television. No, that was Bullseye, wasn't it? It wasn't
Buller. Or the ECW fags, you could say Taz as well in ECW. But
fuck Taz.
There you go. Yep, so Martel wins via submission at 5:30. Yeah, pretty nothing match. Yeah. Koko fills the rooster spot as the jobber, I thought.
There's somebody coming up who's more suited to that spot, but we'll get there.
Ooh. I can guarantee I'm missing all of the snippets between matches, so just jump in if you hear me go over.
We have Mean Gene interviewing Andre and Haku, whom he calls the Colostomy Collection.
That is mank.
Isn't it?
That is fucking disgusting.
The fucking cheek of him to say
They don't know what's in a
You
colostomy.
are a little bag o' shite.
The cheek of him, like, can you imagine like Josh Matthews or Todd Grisham interviewing, I don't know, Triple H and saying, here's colostomy man, you know? Would you not be like...
You'd be like, yeah! Yes!
All right, the Colossal Connection. They're anything but regular guys.
Backstage with Demolition. Axe says he's got to chop Andre down to size, and Smash says he'd love to drive the opponents off a cliff and smash into the ground, killing himself, I think.
In a tractor, I think. Didn't he say something about being in a tractor?
Maybe he said he's attractive. Presumably he'd MacGyver out before he dies. So.
Axe was pretty good, but Smash was absolutely terrible. But they still look like saps, though, the state of them.
Axe kind of looked like, you know, Data in Star Trek First Contact, where he has like the kind of synthetic skin on.
Oh, the kind of silver colour?
Yeah, well, no, it was more the kind of peachy colour. Anyway.
The Colossal Connection, Haku and Andre, the WWF Tag Team Champions, versus Demolition for the Tag Team Championships. We got Jobber's Colossal Connection already in the ring. Monsoon notes Andre's never been bigger, and Ventura quips that he's been bulking up in preparation. As Demolition enter, they get a big Road Warrior pop. It's very impressive. Jesse remarks that Demolition better win because it'll be a long time until they get another chance. Because there's so many tag teams around, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
They changed their theme. They don't have like the song anymore. It's just the music.
No, I think that was just their cheap-ass WWE anthology version.
Well, Andre obviously bulking up for this major title defense against the former champions, and here they come. Oh, they're on their feet here. What an ovation for Demolition.
They're just not paying for the song.
And did you catch Monsoon inventing possibly the worst word the English language has ever seen? He says, Demolition are trying to three-peat, which means repeat 3 times. That would make them 4 times. Tag champions.
97 reference number 2. Do you remember Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and then he changed into Triple H? Or there was a couple of weeks in between where they were trying to figure out what's his new nickname gonna be, and JR tried to coin the phrase try. I don't like what try said. Try, yeah.
Within the first kind of 30-40 seconds, it's Smash and Haku have a good battle for the pin from a backslide. Smash wins this and pins Haku, and then Andre comes in to break it up with the non-kick, and he misses his kick-up pin. It's fucking disgraceful, the state of him.
Andre can't even stand up, and he's just leaning heavily on the ropes for like the entire 10 minutes. He does fucking nothing in this match.
He actually,
Yeah, he wasn't looking great at this point. I noticed that as well. Like, that was shockingly bad. But he was kind of almost falling back, trying to... I don't want to not touch the rope here because I'm going to fall over.
Haku does all the heavy lifting, works over Axe until the hot tag, and Smash cleans house, which includes the worst bounce off the ropes and forearm splash tackle. I'll splice it in. It's just like... it's like when Kelly runs the ropes. It's amazing. Andre sits in the corner until he does his caught in the rope spot as Demolition double team Haku and hit the millions of dollars. Darren Young, Titus O'Neil.
What's this?
They've taken the Demolition decapitation.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
God, I didn't even cop that.
Well, they did. So Demolition hit the Demolition decapitation device for the 3 and the tag titles, a 3rd title reign at 9-13. Unprecedented 3rd title reign, but fuck me, they changed hands every pay-per-view, so who cares?
They actually don't ever change hands on pay-per-view. They change hands on fucking house shows.
After the match, Heenan reads Andre the Riot Act. Heenan thinks nobody can hear him, so he just shouts at Andre, I'm the fucking boss! I'm the fucking boss! It's like, I can hear you.
Wow, he could be making a mistake of a long way to that. He slapped the giant. Whoa!
They didn't edit it out either.
Why didn't you just say, I'm the boss, I'm the boss?
Wrestlers, especially in the 80s where you couldn't swear, are like tremendously foul-mouthed. So I reckon just no one can hear me, they can only see me shouting, so I'm going to take this opportunity to swear.
Okay.
Yeah, and so Andre has none of it. He beats up Heenan And
No, he doesn't. He misses all of his slaps. They're the worst. Like, the first slap is not too bad, but then he goes to give him a bitch slap, and oh my goodness, he misses him by probably more than what Big Show missed Vince on Raw there last week. It was really bad.
did you see that?
No.
Oh my
you
god.
should.
When he tries to hit Vince, it's like it's because there's a time delay when it's like that was it. Alright. Yeah, so Andre beats up Heenan and then Haku, presumably turning face. Much like WrestleMania 3, Andre leaves via cart, pointing and no at the ring. Unlike WrestleMania 3, he's doing it alone this time and very much a babyface. And this is Andre's last WWF pay-per-view match, but would still be around for the next 2 years, being French.
It's his last match, thank fucking God.
Yeah.
Oh, good riddance.
No, don't say that. But yeah, dude,
No, I'd say it.
He's, I feel sorry for anyone who's going to tag with him like Haku. You know, he just does all the work and
For
gets
none of the
none of the
glory.
praise. or
Yeah.
glory,
I suppose, like, depending on how higher up you are on the card, you might get a bit more cash because you're with Andre, you know?
Yeah. I thought this match was god awful, except for the last like 30 seconds or so, and the post match was pretty good.
I didn't hate the match. I thought, you know, the crowd were into it. It was a bit fun. So
I was just distracted by Andre. I was just complaining throughout it. Get the fuck in the ring.
Yeah.
I stopped leaning on it. You're not even in the ring. Stand up. Backstage, Jimmy Hart rolls off earthquake puns. And you notice there's no more Canadian flag.
Yeah.
Because he might unintentionally get cheered because they're in Canada, I reckon.
Yeah, that's
exactly what I thought as well.
Written down, yep.
So we got Hercules versus Canadian Earthquake with Jimmy Hart.
So no more Frenchie and Dino Bravo.
I think he's gone.
No, right.
Maybe after that...
The big stomp to the face from
the rifle butt.
Yes.
The
Damn
Jew
Nazis.
He did not see that coming. Alright, so the build up to this match is Earthquake is squashing jobbers left, right and centre with the big whoopsie, and Hercules continues being on every fucking pay-per-view since WrestleMania 2. This is the real streak. He's 12-0.
How do you mean?
He's got 12 consecutive pay-per-view
Sorry,
paydays.
yeah, but he's not. I love Earthquake. I fucking love this guy.
He's being put over so well. Like, hasn't he battered both Hogan and Warrior in the build-up to Mania as well? Just battered them.
They're down and he was going to injure them and then the other guy came out.
Yeah, I just, that's tremendous booking. To put him even near being on par with those two guys is phenomenal stuff. Like,
I think they're doing real well with him. And I've always loved the guy. And I still love his finisher.
Just don't give it a fiddle.
No, please not. Monsoon. Right, he discusses how the ring has been reinforced tonight for matches such as this. Right, and this is classic garbage that commentators used to come out with. So my question is, why isn't the ring always reinforced?
just buy a reinforced ring.
Please,
Yeah.
how expensive could it possibly
Or the metal you use to reinforce it costs more money to ship everywhere.
be? Oh, because it's heavier.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love kayfabe. That was awesome.
Hold on a second. So, my next point is surely 2 tag teams weigh more than Earthquake and Hercules. And there's tag matches every night, so don't take any chances and reinforce the ring. And my last
That is sound logic, Steve.
Damning indictment of the wrongness.
My last question is, how do you reinforce a ring? Do you put like steel underneath it so that when somebody takes a bump it really hurts?
Maybe they have more support, so they usually only have the 4 blocks holding it up underneath the ring. The corners, maybe they have more now. Maybe they have 8.
Okay.
But that doesn't reinforce the centre of the ring.
Exactly. So what if a good example would be Big Show, you know, breaking the ring with Lesnar? Why didn't they reinforce it that much?
Wait, hang on. Why didn't they reinforce it last time at the Rumble with 30 participants?
Oh, yes.
So I do appreciate your answers there, lads. Thanks very much.
Very good, very good. Hercules telegraphs the Pearl Harbor attack as the crowd immediately die down. There's an 80s test of strength and Hercules obliges and obviously gets headbutted when he starts to win. Commentators rightly slag off Earthquake for flexing his biceps.
That's awesome. Did you notice that Hercules sold being off balance when Earthquake did his little jumpy spot?
Oh, I love it.
It was absolutely breathtaking wrestling. It was the best ever.
That's great. That is great.
Yeah, I'm impressed with that.
Herc builds up a big head of steam as we hear somebody move Herc's chain and cut to a shot of it. That was very hot. Alright, so the finish of the match is where Earthquake downs him with an elbow, does his little 2-year-old tantrum stomp, and hits the whoopsie and gets the 3 at 4:52. The commentators get over how this move is hospitalizing opponents. Earthquake does it again, and he's barely out of the ring before Hercules is up to his feet. What a cunt. Fantastic booking for Earthquake here. He comes across like a monster.
Absolutely. I thought the actual match was pretty meh, but like you said, the booking here was tremendous, and I really enjoyed how powerful Quake is coming over, and of course, a clean win in that day and age is great.
Looking forward to Earthquake getting his Earthquake jocks rather than these horrible fucking blue yolks he found in the fucking dumpster outside.
Yo! Backstage, we get a tea time chat with Rona Barrett and Miss Elizabeth. She's dressed like Bobby Heenan, really. She's dressed in like a pantsuit. It was fucking terrible looking.
Do you know who this lady was?
A tea time chatter.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get over that Miss Elizabeth will manage again sometime in the future.
Yeah, sometime in the... I wonder when that'll be.
It's a good thing you had that interview before the match, eh?
We actually had Mooney talking to Brutus. He puts over Perfect on his record. He talks about that no one's perfect, everyone has fault, and he's going to cut Perfect's record.
The guy can cut a promo. No issues with it.
It was an awesome poem, though.
Brutus Beefcake versus Mr. Perfect with the Genius. The heels get no entrance. A very nimble Mr. Perfect. He bumps like a boss for Hogan's best mate.
It's going over the top. He looks stupid. It looked like Perfect was pulling the piss out of him.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, because when he'd like take a turnbuckle bump, he'd kind of springboard off the bottom turnbuckle and do a flip, big Rikishi bump and stuff like that. Yeah. Actually reminds me of Dolph Ziggler. He's taking crazy bumps, pretty much the same like Perfect these days. Genius and Beefcake have matching purple attire. I thought that was a bit odd.
There was actually pretty good booking in this match in the sense that it was kind of built around the fact that Perfect was making little small fuck ups, and they were like, oh, he's not perfect like he says, and you know, he's just a human being and he can make mistakes and people can capitalize on it. I thought that was pretty good.
But that's the problem with the gimmick. You cannot fuck up.
Yeah.
Genius creates a diversion. Oh, God! And leaves his metal scroll for Perfect, which he uses, but decides not to pin him. What a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I thought this was definitely... Did you just change the finish? Was this the original finish and you added on the next bit? I thought it was a bit dodgy here. So, Snapmare as we cut to 10 signs in the crowd, which is pretty cool. Perfect, he jaw jacks for too long as Beefcake does a double leg pickup and slingshots Perfect into the ring post, and then gets the 3 at 7:48 as the Genius, who was right there looking at him, just looks on. Pity I can't do anything about it, although I'm right here, you know. Just look really fucking dodgy, you know. So this is Perfect's first job in the WWF, the Hogan's best mate. Beaver was considered for the IC belt around this time, but that never happened.
I think Beaver was good enough, and he was definitely over enough to be worthy of holding the IC title.
Maybe it's like Jake Roberts, where it's like, you are really over, you don't need the title. We'll put on someone else, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you're just as over without it than with it, so.
What about Warrior, though? He didn't need the title and he had it.
I think for the sake of this program, Warrior did need the title. I think it made it bigger.
Okay.
I'd say probably if you're going to push someone to world title and you know you're going to go with him, then you should give him the IC belt. So it's a stepping, much like Randy Savage. Beaver looks for his shears as the Genius misappropriates them. Beaver brings back Genius and reveals his haircut from the Rimble. Beaver gets a sleeper on him and cuts the side of his mullet. So you might hope that Perfect gets his win back, but this is the blow off here. So.
There's a lot of that in old WWF booking. There's, finishes that you're convinced are going to lead to like a rematch or, some form of tag match or gimmick match, which you'd absolutely get nowadays, but no, just over. Move on.
At least we got a clean finish.
Yes, I thought this match was alright. Could have been a bit better, but that was fine. And the fans loved seeing Genius get his haircut at the end. They absolutely lapped it up, so good stuff.
Again, I'm going to bring it up, the use of the word perfect and its derivatives are really grating. It's now Monsoon. He executed that knee lift wonderfully, and Jesse, or perfectly. It's killing me, man. I have to admit, I was shocked that Brutus won until you just mentioned that he was Hogan's best mate. And if I was a wrestler at the time, I would have refused to wrestle Beefcake, just in case. There's a chance you'll cut my hair.
Yeah.
Fuck off. No, I'm not wrestling you.
Steve, your wrestling character would be so awesome. No, I'm not wrestling him because he's going to cut my hair. So it's like, that means you expect to lose.
Fuck you.
We have a recap for Piper and Bad News Brown. Shows them eliminate each other at the Rumble. Bad News Brown gives him guff over wearing a skirt and blah blah blah, and Piper goes mad. And then Mean Gene interviews Piper for the most mental, bizarrely racist promo I've ever seen. The other one with the half black, half white face.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, they call him the Hot Rod.
Yeah, you could say I'm the Hot Rod. Some folks call me the Hot Scott. You know, I guess I'm a little bit of both. Now that I think of it, you could say I'm a little two-faced. But you know, Bad News Brown, you just got one face. Kind of face that needs a little customizing. For instance, let's take a look at them big bug eyes of yours. Look so mean and nasty with them gnarly veins in it. Look like you're gonna pop right out of them sockets. You know, I don't think you see that well. Of course, we could talk about them out of proportion ears you got that they're just there to collect dust, dirt, and wax. And you don't listen with them. You ought to be listening, son. But I don't want to insult you. Other than that schnozola you got. Cute little schnozola with them dilating nostrils and that wonderful hair that comes out of the left nostril. Oh, about 3.5 feet long that you could pull cars with, or you could wrap it, you could blade it, you could slice, you could dice with it. Which brings me to another part of your face, your mouth. Now, that's part of your body you don't have no trouble with. You're talking about somebody that knows about mouths, but you're talking about somebody that knows how to back it up. You see, you got a mouth kind of like Ralph Crandom. I got a big mouth! Well, I'm going to shut it for you, baby. The only thing you don't know, Bad News Brown, is which one, Hot Rod or Hot Scott, is going to do it.
Well, it looks to me, Bad News Brown, that you're going to have to deal with a split personality.
It was strange. What was he getting at?
I don't know.
Weird.
But in saying that, it was actually one of his more entertaining promos that I've seen so far.
Yeah, so he's doing his whole minstrel thing, and he says on the white side he's Hot Rod, and then he turns around and he's Hot Scott. Surely, why wouldn't he say he's Hot Chocolate?
I believe in miracles.
On Piper's DVD, he did mention it that he dressed half black to fuck with Bad News Brown, both in a kayfabe and a shoot sense, just to take him off his game, make him, I don't know, care more about the match. You know, just wake up. You know, and he regrets it thoroughly because he said it took weeks to get off.
Shit.
Are you serious?
Oh, Jesus. That's great.
Passing through the airport terminal, half black.
Yeah.
So, which way is the departure lounge? Right back the way you came, mister.
The lazy way to set up a match for WrestleMania is the Royal Rumble. You eliminate me, I'm going to come back and eliminate you. For fuck's sake, come up with something a little bit better. Like, has Piper had a legitimate feud with anyone in a long time? I know he gets thrown together with people like Rick Rude and this guy.
Mr. T, maybe?
Yeah, that was like
match 1 and 2, yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
I don't think he was put in any prominent positions because he just didn't want a job. And so I think this is what happens. Listen, if you don't want a job, we're going to stick you with Bad News Black here, and that's that, you know? Alright, so we got Roddy Piper versus Bad News Brown in a guess the finish match. Half Black Hot Rod enters as Bad News Brown is already in the ring. At the start, Monsoon makes a quip about Ventura tagging with Roddy, which was actually a reference to a TV show pilot that failed about Ventura and Roddy Piper as 2 crime-fighting cops called Tag Team.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
How could this possibly fail?
Oh, it's great because there's like, stealing a purse, and then Ventura's like, come on, let's try to beat you up, and then the heel gets the upper hand, and he's like, he's being choked out, and then he's like, he puts out his hand, and slow motion, Piper tags in!
Just like real life. Wow.
How didn't this get picked up? The ref, Danny Davis, keeps breaking them up, and the commentators wonder why. Maybe he hates immediate brawls to the outside.
In kayfabe term, they were punching with closed fists.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fucking get out. It's not like you're not going to brawl to the back anyway. Not missing anything. So we get really dodgy Roddy chants start when like, nothing's happening in the ring, and it's like Roddy. No, something's not right here. Big dirty seagull pop for him.
Oh no!
People don't just start chanting Roddy unless you're working the crowd, you know, or you're in a rest home. Yeah,
because on my version he was crazy over. I've no doubt it was all spliced in.
Interesting. Piper pokes the eyes, which gets a good reaction. Bad News Brown removes the turnbuckle pad, but gets reversed shoulder first into it. Piper pulls out a Michael Jackson glove out of his jocks and uses it. Ventura correctly postulates, asking, is this legal? And the ref, why doesn't he fucking check it out? Like, Monsoon says, he probably did it beforehand, you know?
Okay. In the parameters of the storyline, did they ever mention that this was a loaded glove, or it's covered in diamonds, or is it just like putting on one of those magic gloves or a fucking marigold and hitting them with them?
It doesn't matter. It wasn't sanctioned before the match started. Therefore, it's an illegal object.
But what about wrestlers that wrestle in gloves?
They're probably sanctioned.
Yeah, you probably check. You should have checked them out
You never
beforehand.
see them signed.
It's true.
Oh, you're supposed to sign.
Oh god! Oh yeah, boxing gloves, MMA gloves are always signed.
Maybe they have like an airport scanner, just in the back on the way to the ring.
Fantastic.
I think the whole idea behind the glove was the Michael Jackson black-white kind of.
Okay. Yeah,
but
that's all I got.
But then, like, the glove wouldn't have made a difference to his punches. But
it was just
it's like
more
Bad News was selling them more, you know.
Oh, was he?
So the finish is obviously brawl to the outside, double count out, nobody fucking jobs at 6:38. Pat Patterson gets a payday attempting to break it up, and that's the best part of this match.
Well, at this point with Bad News Brown, he never loses, but he never wins.
Theoretically, you can't move up the card.
No, the best you can do is get the rematch with the same person.
Yeah, always, over and over.
Which is
again.
why he's the third match in. Like.
Yeah.
His gimmick was over, but I think it's a case of he's like Roddy Piper on a smaller scale. Like, you would have got pushed more if you had a job, but you're not jobbing, so fuck off. But we'll keep you around so you can cut some promos and share some crops. Steve Allen plays the piano in the shower with the Bolsheviks. He drops a billion Russian puns until someone flushes the toilet. Hibbit, that's all, folks.
Okay, I don't plan to hit it that hard, but I'll do my best. I get no kick from Ukraine.
Hey, that's not the Russian national anthem!
I know that. It's just a little joke to warm up the crowd. Give us a break here. Okay, here we go. Hey! Hey yourself. I know it's not the Russian national anthem. What is it?
You play the Polish national anthem.
Well, send your postcards directly to him. Anyway, we're still warming up. Here we go now. A 1 and a 2 and... Perestroika and Glasnost, I dig them the utmost. And how is your sister tonight?
Hey, you're getting hot for you warming up. Let's go.
Enough with the hay. No more stalling. Okay, let's do one from the heart, folks. Let's do one for the homeland. Let's hear it from Mother Russia. Here we go. the speed stick room. Sailing it back up to you, Jesse. I'm gonna get out of here. You can get killed around here.
Apparently this is hilarious. I thought it was killing me. What do you guys think?
Oh man, well, you see, again, you're gonna have to splice in the Simpsons footage here.
Is this guy the see those monsters 1, 2, 3?
No, monsters. No, it's
this is
him.
not him,
No,
is
no,
it?
no.
Monsters.
Now, a brilliant jazz musician who's inspired me to do some improv poetry. Twinkle, twinkle, groovy cat, how I wonder where you at. I really love the way you cook, just like me when I wrote this book, How to Make Love to Steve Allen. From the author of Happiness is a Naked Steve Allen, Journey to the Center of Steve Allen, and The Joy of Cooking Steve Allen.
Either way, this wasn't very funny.
Yes. The Hart Foundation, Brett and Anvil versus the Bolsheviks, Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov. I haven't seen these lads for a while.
Yeah.
Finley must have booked this as we get an interrupt the national anthem spot. Obviously, because he was fired because they did this spot at a house show last year and these troops got annoyed and anyway, he got fucking fired over it. It was bullshit.
Funny
got fired.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
He was the scapegoat for it. It was the same bullshit that they pulled with Jericho with the defacing the Brazilian national flag.
He scrumpled it up and kicked it.
Yeah. Get over yourselves, like.
I remember I just woke up and I was reading the tweets on it the next day and Shawn Michaels posted, apparently I'm to blame for Chris Jericho getting suspended. Because everyone just went to immediately 97 Screwjob Survivor Series. So Shawn's entrance in Montreal, he gets the Canadian flag and he's like, first thing he does is picks his nose with it and blows his nose. Then the second one is he puts it down his jocks and starts jumping around. And the third one is he takes it out and puts it on the ground and starts banging it. Just in the middle of the ring. Nothing. No one bats an eyelid.
Yeah, people have become fucking arseholes over time.
Holy shit, the heels still have their jackets on as the Hart Foundation hit the heart attack and get the 3 in 18 seconds.
They cheated to win.
They did?
Yeah.
Did the bell ring?
They Pearl Harbored them from behind when they still had their gear on. It's not very face-like.
Oh, it's Brett country, so he can't do any wrong. Like
this match wasn't a match. It was like more of an angle or just a spot. So I thought it was fine, other than the cheating thing.
What do you think of getting an 18-second match at Mania?
It really didn't do them any good because nobody would have remembered the match.
Yeah, this is the end of the line for the Bolsheviks, as the Cold War is pretty much wrapping up by this point. Prior to Demolition versus the Colossal Connection, the Harts issued a challenge, and having killed their WrestleMania opponents, they're next in line for a title shot. I wonder if you guys got this. Vince Hawk's WrestleMania 7 tickets?
We got it about 8 times throughout the show.
Would you not have cut that out? It's Jesus Christ.
It's embarrassing.
Like, it's okay for me because I've got the
The actual,
VHS copy from fucking 1990, but this is 2012, So Vince Hawk's WrestleMania 7 tickets, including a phone number in the LA Memorial Coliseum. WrestleMania 7 would take place across the road in a dingy arena thanks to the booking. See you in episode 22. Tito Santana versus the Barbarian with Bobby Heenan. How about that? Now, Ventura quips about Chico's food van / enchilada enterprise. He's awesome.
Did you see Tito's little interview before the match?
No.
He's just wearing, those lovely t-shirts that, a wrestler on them who's half naked and, posing, They're not gay at all, but, Tito's is like him just standing there, holding his fist in the air. It's the most boring fucking t-shirt. How can you go wrong with a t-shirt, for fuck's sake?
Wait, is he himself doing the same pose?
Yeah.
So it's like an Inception t-shirt?
Again, the usual rubbish from Tito, I have to say.
I'm gonna try my best. I hope I don't lose.
I'm not gonna promise I'm gonna win.
What?
Exactly.
What happened to him?
He moved to
Alabama.
He drinks, smokes, and smacks his wife. Is that in the back of my mind?
What's the story here? So apparently, Barbarian is now part of the family, Heenan family. And Monsoon was saying cost him a lot of money. That's like buying, Emil Heskey in the transfer window for a lot of money. He's not fucking worth it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Just before WrestleMania, Mr. Fuji split up and sold off the Powers of Pain's contracts. Both end up in an orphanage. So, very sad. Warlord was dumped by Slick and Barbarian to Heenan. Now, Fuji needed the money, and we'll see what it was used for later on in the night.
We certainly will.
Yeah, who gives a shit about this match? Of more interest, check out referee Jimmy Corderas' full head of hair. So this is a nothing match. Santana hits the flying forearm, but Heenan puts Barbarian's foot on the bottom rope, something the Genius should have done earlier tonight. The finish of the match is Barbarian hits a run into my arse. And Monsoon calls it a nice clothesline move there. As Barbie follows up with a top rope clothesline and picks up the win at 4:32. Go away.
It was a lovely clothesline though.
I actually thought that this match was pretty good, like in terms of moves done. Tito hit a nice crossbody, and I just didn't care. I don't care about this man.
You were saying Koko's is taking the Red Rooster role now. I think Tito's going that way. If those two had a match, I'd actually put my money on Koko to go over. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying he's lower than Koko, is what you're saying?
I think currently he is. Well, let's wait for El Matador and see what happens then, right?
I don't see it picking up for him, you know? It's like when Billy Gunn got the Rockabilly gimmick from the Honky Tonk Man. It's like, not gonna work. It was a great song though, I have to say. Backstage, Sean Mooney interviews The Dream and Brown Sauce. And
yes. Gonna get that over.
Yeah, I've written all the way down this page.
Yes.
And they say they aren't royalty, but they've got the crown jewel.
I thought he said the brown jewel.
The greatest of all the jewels.
Go to the toilet then. Time for our mixed tag match. So it's Macho Man and Sherri first.
A little break.
Oh.
Because we're about halfway through.
Are we?
A little break.
Really? Alright. Oh, hey. Do you want to add break questionnaire?
I'd love to do one. I just don't have a question.
Ooh, I think.
Good question.
Question.
Is this for the ad questionnaire?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Awesome.
Who's got the worst WrestleMania record?
So it's time for the Outbreak Questionarium. Who's jobbed the most at WrestleMania? This is an actual question. We have to have a fuck.
Oh,
question.
sorry. I thought you wanted to
Oh, bullshit.
That's a reference everyone's going to get.
Yep. The answer is 97. So we got Macho Man and Sherri versus Dusty Rhodes and Sweet Sapphire. Brown sugar. Macho Man and Sherri come to the ring looking fucking awesome, posing during their ring entrance. They are full-blown cartoon villains.
Sherri was incredible during this entrance, and she was well sexy looking as well.
Oh, it was like, who's the villain in Snow White?
The Queen, isn't it?
Yeah, she was like, a bit of that going on, with her outfit.
Oh, with the big neck thing? Yeah, it was really awesome.
Definitely Disney villain going on here, and it was great.
Yeah, but how long did it go on for? Like, Jesus, They must have taken 5 minutes to get to the ring.
But it was 5 awesome minutes.
No?
No.
You didn't like it?
I liked it.
It's better than Tito doing this for 5 minutes. Arriba! Selling oranges on his way down.
Yes. Cut to a shot of a sign in the crowd, and it was like really 80s printer paper with the sprocket holes on the side, and it's kind of green and white, and it's just like, yay, Dusty.
On our version, Dusty didn't come out to American Dream. He comes out to
Wheel of Fortune. theme tune.
I don't know whether it was the Yank version or not, but
the UK
it was
version.
definitely the British version.
I looked it up because I was racking my brain.
Meanwhile, John Leslie is finger banging all the birds that work with him. Like.
Wheel of Fortune with John Leslie and Jenny Powell.
He was a dirty fucker, wasn't he? He was your man who was banging them all, like Abby Clancy and...
No, Abby Titmus. Have you seen the sex tape?
No. Have I seen... I'd imagine I did, because I loved Abby Titmus. She was well.
There you go, I love John.
With his sexy Scottish accent. Finger bang.
Oh, that's fucking amazing. Yeah, so Dusty brings out Miss Elizabeth.
The brown sugar.
Ventura rags on Brown Sugar, saying she could have gotten in shape for the match, or at least eat oatmeal and sardines. He will not stop ragging on her in it. It's just an onslaught, and he's awesome in this match. This is not an intergender tag. It's a mixed tag, so it means men versus men, women versus the women.
Which is thrown out the window about 40 seconds into the match.
Pretty much.
Followed up by about 10 billion double axe handles from Macho. Yeah, at one point, the camera has a shot of Sapphire's arse, and Ventura hurls abuse at the cameraman for doing so.
That's fucking awesome. Did you see the state of her offense?
Jenna Maraska competency here.
And she keeps doing the little, the little bum tackle.
I was doing the Shane O'Mac shuffle. You know?
Shane O'Mac shuffle.
She just consisted of standing whoopsies and botches.
Rhodes turns the tide after Sherri hits the boss man botch splash and counters Macho. The finish sees an awful snapmare. Liz from the outside does like a jock and nerd spot on Sherri, and Sweet Sapphire picks up the win with a schoolgirl at 7:27.
Just a point on Macho Man. His top rope axe handle smashes. Like, he just kind of flops onto the ground. That's obviously part of his move, but I just think they look shit.
I actually brought this up back in like Mania 2 or something.
Did you?
Just saying that he just kind of walks off the top rope, and at first I was like you, I totally hated it. I was like, this looks stupid, it makes no sense. But now it's kind of, I've seen it so many times, it's like, okay, that's just how he does it, and it's cool because it's magic.
Yeah, it's on purpose. Like,
Yeah.
The faces dance in the ring, and we're done. Yeah, I thought this was desperate comedy type booking for two fucking excellent performers. This is the best you can do with Dusty and Macho. Come on.
Yes, like Macho has Hoganitis at this point. $1 Million Man is still suffering from it. After you're in a feud with them, you're just off you go downhill.
Yeah, Bundy's still feeling it. Like, they're crying with all his midgets around him. Jesse played a stormer in this match. He really helped out. But this is a pure comedy match.
This was poor. How much better would it have been if it was just Dusty versus Macho?
Yeah, we did get to see Sherri's arse in tight lycra for most of the match. It's pretty good.
Yeah, she was really hot in this match.
Yeah. Overall, it was shite, but the crowd were fucking mental into it.
Yeah, like two wrestlers that are this over, they don't have to work hard.
It's not like it's WrestleMania or something. Another ad for WrestleMania 7, and we cut to highlights of the weekend's WrestleMania Festival, i.e. their 1990 version of Access, which included a 5k fun run.
No, I didn't have this at all, man.
Oh, nice.
Go for it.
A 5k fun run, autograph sessions, rhythm and blues at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Yes.
And dinner and more signings. And of note, Boss Man, he was like at all of these sessions.
And he was being a cop. Down to this part of America. This part of America. Oh, sorry, Canada.
It's time for Hulk Hogan, and he's interviewed by Mean Gene.
No, it's not.
No.
We've about 20 minutes of interviews.
Yeah, go on.
Do you want to take some of these, Steve?
Well, I'll just take the first one.
Have you written down?
You can do all the rest of it.
Mean Gene interviews Bobby Heenan. who's obviously rather upset about the earlier evening transpirations.
Bobby Heenan, where do you have the nerve to hit Andre the Giant in the face?
Well, I'll tell you where I got the nerve to hit Andre in the face.
Mean Gene starts off saying, where'd you get the nerve to do something?
Do you mean balls?
Yeah,
He nearly let it slip out.
And then Heenan retorts with, I'll tell you where I get the nerve.
Do you reckon that was like a double fuck up, or that was Heenan ripping the piss out of Mean Gene for nearly fucking up?
No, I think that was a double fuck up.
Wow.
Steve.
Suck my bit.
I'd like you to take this Ronda woman Ventura
Ronda Barrett,
thing.
is it?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, this is like the most bizarre segment of the entire show, okay?
This interviewer is being interviewed by the two commentators.
And they're banging on, just talking, and then out of nowhere she comes out and says that she has an adult tape of Jesse.
Well, You think you have something on Jesse the Body Ventura film? What'd you see, Predator? Running Man?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. It was a little piece of film from sort of the adult library variety.
Wait a minute. X-rated type stuff? Wait a minute.
And your reaction is pretty much what the two commentators have. Like, I get the impression this was not scripted. This came out of nowhere, and they didn't know what to do. It was pretty much just left at that. It was just like fade to black. Let's we have Sean Mooney. He's going to talk to Macho. Let's go.
And it seemed a pure one of those situations where somebody's trying to be funny and they fall flat on their face.
Oh yes.
And that's the best you come up with, a sex tape. And then I think they commented on it later on where Gorilla actually said, No, by the way, we've looked into it. There's no tape of any such sort.
This was 3 segments down. We just get a cut to Jesse and Gorilla, and they, he's kind of got the own voice going, and he's just like, I would just like to mention that this adult tape that Rhonda mentioned was nothing. Let's move on. End scene. Star wipe, and we're out.
Arriba!
This is undoubtedly the most bizarre, crazy thing in wrestling since the Luke squeezy grabby followed by the cheeky toe of the hoe.
If this wasn't live, why did they not just cut it out?
I have an answer for that because I was thinking the same. It's because there was something going on here, an intermission or something, and they just had to fill it with as much shite as they could.
Say, cut the scene with Dixie bursting through the door going, damn it, Dave! Who put the tape on? Oh, sorry.
Do the men have sex tapes?
I'm sure, well, men are involved in all sex tapes, but it doesn't affect them.
Do you know, like, whenever I hear a sex tape comes out, it's, I don't know, it's a Paris Hilton, or, it's around a woman.
Yeah.
If a bloke is banging a bird or something, yeah.
If you're famous.
Fair balls.
Tom Sizemore had a famous sex tape, Screech, a rumoured sex tape, and Hulk Hogan, of course.
Has that been
God, I thought you meant Screech and Hulk Hogan. Yeah, Hulk Hogan, yeah, sure. Yeah. Did you see the Nitro stills from it? He's got like 3 positions. It's like, I think Duggan, then reverse Duggan, missionary, and the shame sit on the side of the bed and cry. Like, it's like, geez, 3 positions. Even Cena's got 5 moves.
Hey! Yeah, so that was that. And then we had interview with Macho Man and Sherri, who were just both acting fucking mental because they lost the match. And then,
nice sweaty tits on Sherri though.
Yeah,
really nice bit of that.
Macho was really awesome here, and the crux of the promo was that he says, something like this will never happen to me again. I will never let someone mock me, blah blah blah. I'm gonna batter you. That was basically it, but it was a really good promo. It was excellent stuff. Next up was Mean Gene interviewing Demolition, who cut another good promo. Plus they set up the match against the Hart Foundation, so excellent stuff, lads. Next up is the Jesse on Monsoon telling us that there's no sex tape. And then we go to Mean Gene interviewing a slightly less coked up Hogan.
Yeah, he tells Warrior is a heel and his little warriors need saving, and when he's on his knees, if he wants to live forever, breathe your last breath into my body.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was also a great promo, though.
Yes, it was, but it's nowhere near as good as some of the other coked up promos he's done. Because, you know, they do the hard sell before WrestleMania, and he's like, "Oh, Ultimate Warrior, you're on the dark side, brother. I hate the way you worship false gods, not like the big man upstairs, brother. You are drinking from the devil's armpit, brother."
That's awesome.
I'll splice that.
Ultimate Warrior, me and my Hulkamaniacs put the WWF Championship on the line. We challenge you, Warrior. We've got to know what the strongest force is in the WWF. And I swear by the #1 Hulkamaniac up there, Ultimate Warrior, the darkness that you press your opponents into before you beat them, if that's the same darkness that makes your soul live, if that's where your heart is at, if you ride your Harley Davidson side by side with a devil, and if I find out that the power you possess comes from drinking the sweat from the devil's armpit, by God, I'll strike you down, Ultimate Warrior. What you gonna do when Hulkamania and the Ultimate Challenge destroys you? Hulk Hogan! I speak to you, Hulk Hogan, as you have caused interference in my pathways as I try to communicate to my warriors, my gods. You, Hulk Hogan, control a force field around you that I am only beginning to understand. But each of the challenges before me, I never did understand. I never tried to understand, for they were only battles that I finished before they became wars.
Yeah, what does the Warrior have to say?
The Warrior opens up his interview with Sean Mooney by giving out to Mooney and saying, "Sean Mooney, you don't deserve to be in the same room as Ultimate Warrior. You don't deserve to breathe the same air as the Warrior. You are normal, Sean Mooney." and then he goes on and challenges Hogan to bring his best. And if he does bring his best and he brings his best, they'll live forever in holy matrimony. This was fucking awesome. This was Warrior at his best.
All I heard is that he wants the Little Warriors and the Hulkamaniacs to unite inside him.
Did he say it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did as well.
What's they're hanging and banging. Beefcake's very jealous. Yeah, alright, so it's time for the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty versus Sato and Tanaka, the Orient Express, with Mr. Fuji. Tanaka's the clean-shaven one, for, you know. As I mentioned earlier, Fuji sold off Powers of Pain's contracts to presumably pay for these lads.
It was a bad investment, wasn't it?
What the fuck is this guy? What's wrong with you? He turned off Demolition to get Powers of Pain, and now he's sold off Powers of Pain to get the Orient Express. What a terrible businessman.
Yeah. He is trading down, isn't he? That's really bad.
Let's give these lads a chance, right? Okay.
So Pat Tanaka here, he's from the AWA, and Akio Saito, he is from Japan in general. that whole area there. The commentators get over how the Orient Express speak in Japanese, but Steve, don't Japanese performers call the match in English?
I do believe so, that they're trained in the dojos to understand English calls, yeah.
Yeah, so shut up. State of this match. Monsoon calls the Rockers lethargic, i.e. they're hungover or more likely strung out. So yeah, these guys, spoiler alert, they never held a tag titles, so I wonder if this is why, you know, maybe they couldn't be trusted.
The Rockers?
Yeah.
Well, sure they did. Well, did you went over this before, didn't you?
They actually got them on the house show, but the ring broke, and so they said, "Oh, fuck that, we'll not air it, we'll just tape it again later." And then by the time later came rolled around, it's like, "You're not having it, boss."
Wow. Sean got the much bigger pops from the crowd. He definitely seemed to be getting far more over, at this point.
As much as I love the little trolleys, or whatever, the pallet trucks bringing the lads to the ring, the Rockers could really have done without them here. Like, they were yay,
Warrior didn't come out in that fucking thing.
No, he certainly fucking didn't. Yeah.
Pat Tanaka, that's a great name. He takes an absolutely whopper spinning backdrop. I just have it noted here, he's so much better than Sato?
Tito. Fuji bops Marty on the ankle.
Bops?
There you go, thank you. Because he just like he's gonna, hey you, it's time for our spot. And purposely drops his cane. Marty takes the bait and Sato Pearl Harbors him. The Japanese Pearl Harbored him. And then we get some salt in the eyes.
Which I thought Marty Jannetty sold masterfully.
I thought he sold terribly.
Really?
I thought this was revolutionary and it changed the wrestling business. His selling of the salt in the eyes. He takes a hilarious blind man bump over the railing as the bell rings.
I thought it was awesome.
He wasn't walking fast enough for that. You have
Here comes Johnny Logic. Come on.
Like, in order to get the momentum to fall over the railing, you have to be going at a bit of speed. He was just kind of stumbling. Well, not even stumbling. He was kind of walking.
He was also kind of doubled over, so his centre of balance would have been more...
No, because as soon as it fell was happening...
No, you're wrong.
Maybe Earthquake was walking backstage.
Hercules is still holding on to the rope somewhere.
Maybe he's just really clumsy,
That's what he looked like.
That's actually true.
He looked like a fucking fool.
Will you try walk straight with a vat of acid in your head?
Yeah, I was disgusted with that. Let Sean take that stupid bump.
Or don't. Because then that would make Sean stupid.
Yeah, that's fine by me, as long as it's not my boy Marty.
So
my boy.
So we get the bullshit count out finish at 7:38, another BS finish.
This was a quick count out, my goodness.
Yep.
Yeah, really, I whacked on the counter
count
for
to
that.
5, like...
Of note, the Rockers look to be wearing the same white gloves Piper had down his jocks earlier tonight, so, yeah.
Hope he watched it first.
I absolutely love the stock kind of chopsticks Oriental song that the Express got.
It's no Wheel of Fortune.
No, it's not.
They should have like Ready Steady Cook or something.
Next up we have Steve. Don't look at them monsters, Alan.
Don't watch the monsters.
With rhythm and blues. And I just have written here, he's a slacking bastard, he is. Why does Vince like to job his stars out to Hollywood and mainstream media people?
So maybe they'll come back?
It makes no sense, but like, shouldn't he be using these people to get his stars over or seem like slightly bigger stars?
Probably makes for a better publicity photo, so you can see the celebrity more. But it does ruin the credibility of whoever you're wrestling. Like Hogan selling, was it like an arm twist from Jay Leno? It's like, oh, Jesus.
So Honky and Valentine, who is now the owner of awesomely hilarious hair, we're chatting to Steve Allen, and Steve Allen is ripping the piss out of them and their talent and their songs, and they don't know he's doing it, so they come across like fucking retards here.
He made some pretty good quips.
Some of his jokes were alright, but it's just, how can this idiot not realise that he's insulting him? And
I think I mentioned it back in whenever Valentine debuted in 1926. It was Jesse Ventura who badgered him constantly and convinced him to dye his hair black when he changed his gimmick.
Oh. Yeah, it was the right choice. Good man, Jesse.
Alright, so next up we have Dino Bravo with Canadian Earthquake and Jimmy Hart versus No Theme, Jim Duggan. Not a great reaction, contrasting to the, awesome reaction at the Rimble a few months back.
The fans had no love for the kind of Johnny America gimmick.
Yeah, why would they? He's chanting USA. He probably thinks he's in the USA. Like, he's fucking moron.
Jesse actually calls out Duggan for bringing the USA flag and calls him stupid.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he be a pandering cunt if he had the Canadian flag though?
Yeah, that'd be actually worse.
Yeah, Monsoon says Duggan gets quite an ovation. That's really, really fucking stupid.
Although saying that, even though he came out and the fans weren't digging him and he got no pop, he did eventually win them over with his hose.
That's much like the Godfather.
Monsoon points out that Earthquake shouldn't be at ringside since you can't have both a manager's license and a wrestler's license. Yes.
There has to be examples of that before this.
I'm sure. Well, Bobby Heenan has wrestled.
He wrestled a booster last year at Mania. Oh, but he doesn't have a wrestler's license.
Yeah.
Then he shouldn't have been allowed to wrestle, and they didn't mention that.
He must have been currently in possession of both because he was managing tons of people last year.
Although I did like that they mentioned that.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's good shit, man. Bravo gets a bit oriental with chops to Duggan's neck.
Followed by a finger bang. He actually sticks his finger up his hole.
Is this that Rhonda Barrett tape you're looking at?
Awful clips, finger bang.
Alright. Wasn't on my... Duggan sets up Bravo and goes into the 3-point stance, but goes to tangle with Earthquake instead. Jimmy Hart throws Dino the 2x4, but Duggan gets it and uses it and gets the 3 at 4:14. Yeah, so it's about the cleanest finish you're ever going to get out of Duggan.
Well, that's because he won.
That's very true.
No, Vince, I don't want to win clean.
Post-match Canadian Earthquake, he elbow drops and delivers a few devastating whoopsies. Duggan, he fucking better be out for a couple of months.
No!
Yeah, a huge push here on the biggest show of the year for Earthquake. They must be planning something big for the summer.
Oh.
A slam of some sort.
Jake Roberts, yeah. What's this recap video about, anyway?
It's just a recap of the feud, and I just have it written down that I absolutely love the $1 Million belt. It's the most gorgeous belt they've ever made.
Jake Roberts cuts a really cool reserved promo about DiBiase humiliating people over money, but he's going to grumble for his own money for wallowing in the mud of avarice. He's been watching too many Jay Hunter promos.
Well, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Here we are at WrestleMania, and it's the biggest match of your career. Why? Because everything you stand for is on the line, namely the $1 Million belt. Oh, yeah. It can be yours once again. You see, all you have to do to get it back is go through Damien and me. But you see, Damien and I don't forget. We remember all the times you made people grovel for your money. These were people far less fortunate than you. People who could use your money for essentials. And what did you do? You made fun of them. You humbled them, and you humiliated them. Well, now it's my turn. I'm going to make you beg, DiBiase. You are going to get down on your hands and knees. This time, you'll be the one that's humbled. This time, you'll be the one that's humiliated. And this time, you will be the one that grovels for the money. And how appropriate that the money you grovel for is your very own. A victim of your own greed, wallowing in the muck of avarice.
Great promo, but hasn't been much of a feud up to this point. I mean, we're talking about two of the biggest stars in the history of wrestling. This should have been amazing.
Well, this kind of plays into the next match on the card, so we'll go through it then, but it doesn't... Jake takes the $1 Million belt. Oh, give it back. That's it. That's your feud. Like, we'll recap it more just before the next match. So we got Jake Roberts versus the $1 Million Man with his awesome theme song, and it's the first time it was played.
huge pop for Jake Roberts. Like, this guy, like, we've been saying this consistently for the last 6 or 7 shows. Like, this guy was so over. The fans they wanted this guy to be a top guy, and I know maybe it's because he was a smack bag or something. I don't know, but he just never really made it to the level that the fans wanted him to.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like he's well above IC, but not for the world, so they'll just only consider him if he's gonna get the world belt. Maybe
that sucks.
Did you see a few people had his poster in the crowd? It was him like standing in a provocative pose, with a snake wrapped around him.
This is a Rick Rude pose, was it?
Yeah, it was kind of like you'd see some porn star almost.
That's absolutely horrifying.
It was.
Jake starts off hot, but crashes and burns, missing a dropkick into the corner. It was a cool spot.
What a metaphor for his life.
$1 Million Man gets a spoon and starts burning some crack. $1 Million Man follows up with a lovely, safe pile driver. Now, DiBiase hits the $1 Million Dream, but Jake manages to get a foot on the ropes. DiBiase allows Jake to get to his feet before getting countered with his double axe handle nothing. At this point, so Jake's on the ground. $1 Million Man is kind of perched on the dangerous second rope, waiting to give him a double axe handle. Why do you wait for him to, for a minute for him to fully recover before hitting the move?
Yeah, and I've noticed what they like doing is somebody on the top rope waits for somebody to turn around and face them. But you do as much damage, if not more, if you hit them on the back of the head.
Far more if you don't see it coming, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the storyline of the match. Jake trying to hit the DDT, $1 Million Man avoiding it. The crowd are mental wanting a DDT. I think that's just fantastic conditioning of the fans. It's like every time you see a DDT, that's the end of the match. That's the pinfall.
Yeah, and once he kind of hits his short-armed clothesline, like the fans are programmed to know that it's coming. Although his signal for the DDT is a bit kick, isn't it? Arriba! It's like, oh, come on.
Is that the first? You know the way 3-letter acronyms are massive these days. RKO, OOC,
JKH.
Like chanting DDT. That's the first kind of 3-letter acronym chant that I remember.
WWF. WWF.
Arriba.
Is DDT stand for?
Well, you see, I heard, and this is wrong, but I can't remember what's the actual correct term. Damien's dinner time, but that's not real. That's
no,
not.
What
was it?
Really?
No.
Oh.
It's like diethyl dichloride
Diarrhea. Acetic acid.
Yeah. It was a pesticide that ended up having absolutely horrific nervous system damage, like for people eating crops and shit like that.
Jeez, tell Bad News Brennan to watch out.
Chicken's not a crop.
Yes. That was gonna go dark, and I just brought it right back.
Shut up, Jay. Just stop. Just give me the shovel now. Like, just dig in that hole.
The crowd really come alive for this match, despite them motoring through the spots here. Virgil pulls Jake outside and gets decked and slammed for his troubles. Snake counters another $1 Million Dream, but Virgil throws DiBiase into the ring just before the 10 count ends. Hooray! Hooray! The fucking Duggan finish here. Another BS finished at 11:52. And guess what? It's the fucking blow off to this feud. $1 Million Man's taking the summer off and still no job.
Fuck's sake.
So hold on, $1 Million Man is taking the summer off.
Yeah.
But he still had to win.
By count out, yes.
That makes absolutely no sense.
Yep.
I also like to point out that Jesse did an absolutely awesome job explaining why you can win this belt on a count out, because it's a non-sanctioned title.
Yeah,
I thought that was phenomenal commentary.
So after the match, DiBiase gets his $1 Million belt back, which was the point of it all along. It's a non-sanctioned belt, and it was on display at the start of the match. He got a shot of it. Why not just take it and leave?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so many fuck finishes, man. I was watching this with Greg, man, and between noting where's Big Bum Bigelow, obviously. Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah, we got it.
So awesome.
I was just saying, like, do you just, like, kind of get your finish in the main event? And so you get so many fuck finishes earlier on in the card that it makes the main event more special.
That's a good point. And at this point in time, the Mania cards were one-match shows. You know, like you might have one tag match or something that the fans kind of want to see. It doesn't really matter what you do in the card as long as the main event delivers, which is a point I'll get to later on.
Awesome balls. Jake gets his heat back post-match. So he gets the $1 bills and hands them out to the crowd, and Mary Tyler Moore is there with her own 100, you know, she got out of her wallet. Jake stuffs one in DiBiase's mouth, which was immediately taken out, so...
Yeah, that's kind of sucked, isn't it?
He gets out Damien, but Virgil gets DiBiase out of the ring and the heel scarper. Holy shit, see the fucking size of this python.
This was large.
It was ridiculous. This is a different snake. This has to be.
Yeah.
Unless it's been bulking up with Andre, obviously.
Despite this finish, I actually thought that this was the match of the night so far.
Oh, fuck off.
No
Really?
way.
Steve, this was fucking terrible.
I thought, you know, with the fans going mental for the DDT and things like that, up to this point,
Like,
this
I think-
was probably the best match of the night.
Technically, you probably got a point, but it's only because the standard is very low at this
Yes,
point.
it was. It was.
I preferred the colostomy connection match. Yeah, I did.
The match was... Jesus Christ.
Splice in picture of Steve's face.
I think my cerebellum just fused. Backstage, Mean Gene interviews the former corrections officer, a really thin-looking face big boss
Listen,
man.
Mean Gene. As far as I'm concerned, Ted DiBiase is scum. He may be rich scum, but he's scum nonetheless. And I don't take money from scum. I don't take money from anybody. I may be poor, but I'm proud. Proud to walk into the ring without some skinny, pimp-like manager at my side. Proud to walk into the ring on my own without some tribal reject from Africa who's too fat to fit in a pot. And I'm proud to wear the badge. But most of all, I'm proud to be an American.
No,
I thought this was an excellent promo.
Yeah, I'll splicey splice. He slags the $1 Million Man. He says he's proud to be poor. Would that make him Ray Trailer Park Trash?
Nice.
And he denounces Slick, calling him a skinny pimp. And says Akeem's too fat to fit in the butt.
In the...
What?
No, I'm serious.
Up until like 6 weeks ago, the boss man was just as fat as him. That's like those cunt ex-smokers, like, you know.
So now he's face, right?
Yes.
Which he confirms by signing off with saying that he loves America. Come on.
I'm sure even the heels love their own country.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know?
Yeah, Dino Bravo. Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't love America, so that
Yeah,
makes
so
me.
that makes him heel.
Oh, who are you facing this country, though?
Just prior to the Bossman promo, we had Sean Mooney interviewing Akeem and Slick. Slick was absolutely awful. Although this was the promo that had the law drop, you know, the TN8 segment, and they've got his little song, and it's like,
I'm just about the happiest man in the world right now.
it was a terrible promo. Absolutely woeful. And Akeem speaks. Is this the first time we've heard him speak?
What's he sound like?
No.
Just a normal bloke.
So-
A normal American dude.
Should he not be like a jive sucker or something? You know, like speak like Slick, but not like even like Slick.
Jive cracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Africans don't talk like that. They don't talk like Slick. They talk like... I'm not going to...
Boss man, there are two things in this world that don't last very long. Number one is dogs that chases cars, and number two is law enforcement officers who won't take the money.
Akeem, his gimmick with the whaler, you know, his gimmick is actually a parody of someone Vince didn't have at the time.
Hold on.
Is it a parody of Dusty?
Yes! Very good. Well done. But then when they got Dusty in, it's the point. The Jive Soul Bros come to the ring. It's Akeem with Slick versus the Big Boss Man, who has the awesome Hard Time song. Did Vince pay for yours?
It's a great theme, though.
Vince is a fucking cheap guy, isn't he? He's parsimonious, and he's also quite the niggard. Look it up.
Yes.
18 episodes to break that out. On February 3rd, Superstars, Jake got the $1 million belt and Bossman stole it back for Ted DiBiase. And Bossman was to present it to DiBiase on the Brother Love show. But he 180'd when he found out that DiBiase had paid Slick to do it. And he said, "Oh, I stand for law and order and I can never be bought." And so he turns face and he gives... Shit.
Don't you blame me, you've been doing that a lot on this show.
I don't have a cushion.
I haven't done it once.
You've done it 10 times. Bossman says he stands for law and order and can never be bought.
Since when?
Since
fucking now.
And he just gave the belt back to Jake Roberts, who stole the belt to begin with.
Yes.
Where's the law? Like, it's like, no, the law can only help punish you, not protect you.
Right. See this whole gimmick of I stand for law and justice and shit. I'm pretty certain you're not actually a policeman. Aren't you just a prison guard?
Yes.
So he doesn't stand for anything. He's
just a guy that works in a prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, security.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, so as long as we're clear here that
I think he just turned really because he felt he was being used, and so Slick no longer was looking out for him. He was just taking a payday off Bossman.
Okay.
That's me saying that. That's not the WWF saying that. That's me trying to explain that. Like,
I'll take it.
The commentators bring attention to a really dodgy looking planted sign that says "Boss Man can't be bought." You know, so it's Jesus, who'd write that? You know. Just before the match starts, as a surprise because we didn't get any build-up, DiBiase is still at ringside and he beats up the Boss Boob. There's no bell ring. Yeah, so. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't just throw the match out, even though the ref should have given Bossman time to recover.
There's an absolutely hilarious spot, is right at the start, where Bossman has Akeem in the corner and he tries to lift him out of it to like hit a slam or something, and fails so badly that Bossman can't even cover up, and he just pulls a Foxy Stout, like, and he's just like, "Oh, he failed that spot."
He gets Akeem about 5 inches off the ground with the Bossman slam and gets the 3 at 154.
I actually thought he'd do alright with the Bossman slam.
I think only like Hogan getting choke slammed is any lower than that. Are you guys sad about this? It's the last pay-per-view for Akeem.
No.
A little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I liked Akeem.
Slagging him and him fisting in the corner and things like that.
The teapot, yeah.
Strangely effeminate hands.
No, I always kind of liked him, yeah.
But he will return for one night only at WrestleMania X7 in the gimmick Battle Royal.
As, oh my god.
That's the one. Okay, awesome. It is time for the Honky Tonk Man and your boy, Greg Valentine, who's dyed his hair black. This is the cool spot where they get driven to the ring. They get chauffeured by Diamond Dallas Page.
Fuck off.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He's a chauffeur.
Wow.
Monsoon casts aspersions about the validity of Honky's gold record for Honka
Love.
Honka
Honky Love, is it?
Was it?
Or is it Honky Love?
That was it. No, you got it.
Don't get racist to it there. Awful lot of honkies in here. The Honkettes accompany him to the ring. They do a rendition of their new song, Honka Honka.
4 honkas and a honky.
And a partridge in a pear.
Yeah, they're generally off by a full second during the rendition of the song, and Valentine is inaudible. It's horrific, you know.
Come on, baby, hold me tight. Hello, honky, what you need tonight? I'm the one you've been dreaming of. You know you got to have some honky love. Put your arms around me, whisper in my ear.
He's the worst fake guitar player I've ever seen. With his one chord, with his no capo bar about 14 frets up, doesn't move the fingers. The Honkettes were terrifying with their clown makeup. My God, they looked like it. We all float down here.
There he is. They're just singing along to the stadium noise instead of what they should be singing to, which is the feed. So, thankfully, they get it together just about by the end. The Bushwhackers take off their merch disguises, clear the ring, and destroy the cheapest equipment available in the ring. So, you know, it's the stands for the mic, you know.
Carefully place the guitar on the floor.
Yeah, not a great reaction. Would this have been better if they had a match?
This been better if they just had to play the whole song. I fucking hate the Bushwhackers.
Monsoon and Ventura get over the attendance tonight, which is 67,678.
Which I'd like to point out is about 4,000 more than what they opened the show with.
Awesome. Stitch that, Richie. It's really 64,287, so it's not too much of
That's
inflation.
not bad. Jesus Christ, that's not bad at all.
It's an impressive number, 3,000 less than they mentioned, so not the biggest inflation of all time, which was 3 years prior. Monsoon says it'll be even bigger next year. Nope. It'll be over 50,000 less.
Jeez. That is bad, isn't it? Holy shit.
Cut to some bird with nice tits. Yeah, I did write that.
Fair enough.
And 80s jocks that turns around when the camera's on her.
Oh yeah, noticed that. She had no bra on.
Yeah.
How did I never miss this stuff?
Yeah, you're Mr. Eagle Eyes. Canto. Some guy comes to the commentator's desk and it sounds like Art Donovan. It's Steve Allen, it's your boy.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, he's the dude from the shower. It's Rick Rude with Bobby Heenan versus Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and there's no bell rung again.
Both men are monstrous. My goodness. This match kind of opened up well, you know. It was quick, and then the fans popped huge for Snuka doing the rude swivel hips. And I have written in brackets here, if only they knew ... murder. I also noticed here that Snuka just seems kind of reckless, doesn't he? He just seems dangerous. Like, there is a much higher possibility of being hurt while wrestling this man than most of the other people on the roster. Like,
one of the worst things you can call a wrestler. It's unsafe.
He just seemed sloppy and reckless.
Yeah, fucking back body drops. Snuka hits a few, Rude counters a few, hits a few, and hits the Rude Awakening and gets the 3 at 3:42. Wow, I'm a poet and I don't even know it.
Hey, Snuka completely no-sells it. He fucking jumps up. And then it was really strange, and then Rude just walks out without celebrating, just walks back up.
Yeah, this sucked. There was no even post-match angle, like you said. He just walked back. Bam, end of story.
So how do you think Rude was portrayed in this pay-per-view?
At least he won.
Like,
he didn't
completely
look
forgettable.
Yeah, he wasn't booked to be a star here at all.
Yeah, that's pretty odd, because he has an important role at SummerSlam, so he should have got the earthquake push, basically. You know?
I reckon Rude was pissed off with this match because this is in the fucking death spot of the show. Yeah. This is where you should bring out Rock and Robin, like, you know what I mean, against the fucking Terminator and Judy Martin.
Before Warrior and Hogan was inked, Macho Man was the number one contender. They actually faced main event Saturday Night's main event at February 23rd. Now, Vince offered Mike Tyson $1 million to ref the big match. That sound familiar? 98. So he actually wanted to do a bit of, instead of Austin, Tyson, Michaels, it was Hogan, Tyson, Warrior. But after Tyson had the cheek to go get himself knocked out by James Douglas, Vince nixed it and spent 11% of that $1 million on Buster Douglas instead.
So, hold on. Buster Douglas reffed this match.
That's Saturday Night's Main Event, yeah.
Okay.
That's
So,
all.
but Macho was never lined up ever to be in the main event of WrestleMania.
No.
Like, Warriors penciled in from, like, SummerSlam last year.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
They were pushing him hard and were hoping it was going to go that way, but they were still putting their money on Zeus. Like.
Oh, yeah.
Ever since that awesome pose down with Rick Rude, I bet you Vince is like, bam, main event.
Yeah.
He is going to main event one day.
Some nice long-term booking, but they didn't really cement Warrior going to WrestleMania until the Rumble when they did the spot. So I reckon, God, what else did you have? Like, because Zeus fell through, so if Warrior fell through, they'd probably just do Savage again or something.
Yeah. which would have drawn still, because Savage was great. We get the fucking awesome recap of the Hogan Warrior feud. I was just like, just from watching this recap, and I was like, oh my god, I'm excited to watch this match. This, probably for the first time since Hogan Savage, like, this has big match feel. It doesn't happen that often in wrestling. Plus, crisscross, baby! I fucking love the crisscross.
Huge big match feel. Dare I say, a bigger big match feel than WrestleMania 3.
I'd agree with that.
Watching the Rumble, I couldn't wait to watch WrestleMania.
Okay.
So it's time for the main event. It's the Ultimate Challenge title for title. The IC champ, the Ultimate Warrior, versus the World Wrestling Federation champion Hulk Hogan. Holy fucking shit, you stacked the main event, and this match could not be any bigger. Holy shit. I was watching the Silver Vision version and it went straight into Warrior's entrance and I was like, fuck that, and I found the WWF Anthology version to see the build up again, you know?
Nice.
So, highlights of the build up. They had the two facing off at the Rumble, Warrior hitting Hogan by accident at Saturday Night's Main Event, Hogan saving Warrior from the earthquake at the main event a bit time later. Warrior doesn't appreciate it. Vice versa happens at the Wrestling Challenge. Steve, did you catch earthquake in his Bastion Booger jokes?
Yeah, actually, it was an improvement over those horrible blue yolks.
Oh, I don't know. I think brown is the most unflattering colour of them all. It really is. In terms of clothes.
Steve is wearing a brown t-shirt.
I actually didn't cop that. I meant in terms of like a fucking onesie.
A onesie.
Yeah.
Steve is wearing a
Excellent.
Yes, just on Wrestling Challenge there, the Warrior runs the ropes and considers clotheslining Hogan, but he stops himself and leaves the ring. A TV special aired the week before Mania called the Ultimate Challenge Special, which had a contract signing to the match touted as the biggest.
He said to the max there. Yeah. It's like, geez, we're really in the 90s now.
It was amazing though, the signing, because alright, Hogan is there on one side of the table and in the middle is President Funny Jack Tunney and on the other side is the Warrior, but when the cutting promos, it turns to like a POV shot from the other wrestler. So instead of, facing like this, it's like you get a shot of Warrior's face shouting into the camera.
That's fucking cool.
It's awesome. It is awesome. Breaks kayfabe, that means you cut this promo twice. Each other one thinks that they're being a heelish cunt, and that's the crux of their promos.
Okay.
This is the first time they're doing face versus face in the main event, and the first time they're doing title for title. So, and, you get the 64,000 fans in attendance. So it's just a lot of interest going into it, because these are all revolutionary things, And what are you going to do with the belt? What happens when someone has two belts? Because the IC champ used to kind of main event house shows and stuff like that. The intrigue was like, which one of you guys is going to turn heel, Both of you have these monster finishers that no one kicks out of. Who's going to hit their finisher first is going to win. So that's pretty awesome. And the build-up of it, Steve, you'll love it, is that Ventura, it was his own Wrestling Challenge on the weeks leading up to it. Ventura would come out one week and he'd be dressed in Ultimate Warrior garb. He's like, yeah, Ultimate Warrior's going to win. Next week, all Hulkamania garb. Yeah, Hulk Hogan's going to win. Because he's only sides with the heels, but in a face-face, he's, got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So in the last week, he had like Warrior cap and Hogan top and like, I'm going for both. We're going to win.
What he could have done was do like a Roddy Piper and like spray tan half his body, and then the second half he can like tan more, because that's the Hogan side.
The stage is set. The
walk with a different force field around you, but no one in the Royal Rumble shall form a team. Every man shall fight for what he feels is in himself, and I, the Ultimate Warrior, will fulfill another destiny.
My God, there is not a person sitting down. Everyone on his feet. These two athletes, the Hulkster, the Warrior, every man for himself going at it. Hold on to your seats. This place is going to explode.
Hulk Hogan! I speak to you, Hulk Hogan, as you have caused interference in my pathways.
Perfect. Hulkster, the only 2 out of 30 remaining in the Royal Rumble. Here he goes.
Of the Royal Rumble, World Wrestling Federation Champion, Hulk Hogan!
I bring you, Hulk Hogan, the one and only Ultimate Challenge! Ultimate Warrior! Me and my Hulkamaniacs put the championship on the line.
With the authorization of the World Wrestling Federation President Jack Tunney,
Stating that the main event in WrestleMania VI would be the Ultimate Warrior squaring off against Hulk Hogan.
the only question left to be answered is whose title will be at stake.
It is my decision that for the first time in World Wrestling Federation history, champion versus champion, title for title.
For the WrestleMania VI, Hulk Hogan, I bring you the Ultimate Warrior. I bring you the Ultimate Challenge. I bring you Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Reality.
Well, that brings us right to where we are here today in the Skydome for the Ultimate Challenge. Let's go to our ring announcer, Howard Finkel.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of WrestleMania VI. It is scheduled for one fall, and it is title for title. Introducing first, weighing 275 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion, the Ultimate Warrior.
Listen to the ovation, Jess, for the Ultimate Warrior. Here he comes. He's running.
You know, I think that's a mistake. He should be conserving his strength right here. He's facing the challenge of his life, Gorilla.
Well, you may have a point there, Jesse. However, this guy's in great shape. A lot of Ultimate Warrior fans here, Jess. Supporters. This place is going bananas.
67,000 of them have waited for this moment, Gorilla Monsoon.
It's deafening. And they are giving him the accolades he so richly deserves.
Well, it's going to be interesting because it seems the crowd, sign-wise, is about 50-50. It's a toss-up, the same as the match.
Well, we'll find out in just a moment.
His opponent from Tennessee, California, weighing 303 pounds, the World Wrestling Federation
Let's fucking get this match there. It's been 20 minutes of build-up. Alright, so...
It deserves it.
It fucking does indeed. Now, Warrior runs to the ring. He's fucking awesome. Gets a great pop. You know,
not as big as I thought it was going to be, I have to say. Still a huge pop, though.
You know what's cool about the Skydome as well is they had these, like, really widescreen TVs, you know, plastered around the arena. Because usually they're big, dirty, you know, 240p square ones, you know. But I thought it looks really cool. So when Hogan comes to the ring next, and he looks awesome, and there's a great shot of Hulk Hogan getting in the ring, and Warrior still on like the second ropes looking back.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, it's a really cool shot.
I actually thought that Hogan got like a much bigger pop, even though you could hear boos though. But just overall, like, the decibel level was far higher.
Okay, so we start the match with an awesome test each other out spot with big shoves. We got a kind of seesaw test strength. We also get the infamous blowjob gif where Warrior's like, when he's down there.
What was the fucking director thinking? Like, just change the fucking camera.
So this match, you could tell pretty quickly, because of the nature of the other matches, that this was meticulously laid out ahead of time and rehearsed a lot, and it shows. Well done, Pat Patterson. Maximum crowd reaction for minimum effort is like booked to feel really huge. Like no other matches are booked like this.
Totally 50-50 booking. Warrior would kind of win the test of strength, then Hogan would make his comeback and Warrior would sell for a while, and then one would pose and the other would pose, and they'd just do the same moves, just total 50-50. Really fucking awesome. Great booking. We get a crisscross, which is followed by Hogan slamming Warrior, and then Warrior pops up right away and no-sells it, which leads into another crisscross, and then Warrior slams Hogan, who does sell it, despite them being really even, and Warrior's just a little bit stronger, and maybe Hogan's time has come. It was amazing. What a spot.
Awesome. There's a collar and elbow tie-up and the push-off eventually. It really looks like WrestleMania X8 with Hogan and Rock, with the pushing and the poses and stuff like that. Hogan gets clotheslined to the outside, and then Hogan starts selling the knee. Oh, the knee's gone, brother, the knee's gone. So I think it was Sean Taker. They started doing, oh, my knee's fucked, let's not do the match. But oh, I'm actually alright, and the match is going to go on ahead. It's a bit mean. Don't play with my emotions.
Yeah, he sells it for about 30 seconds. You know, after that point, there's no... Yeah, you know, surely there'd be some kind of residual pain. But no, he's fine.
I thought it was hilarious. So when Hogan gets back in the ring, Warrior starts working over his knee. He starts kicking it.
Really heelish, wasn't it? Yeah.
Hogan stopped selling the knee straight afterwards. So yeah, I guess you were grand then. You didn't blow it out. Yeah, the crowd, they just eat everything up. They love it all. Hogan tries to kill the crowd with an endless reverse chin lock.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't lose the crowd though, but eventually Warrior breaks it and gets a double clothesline.
There was a little bit of a pattern developing now at this stage in the match. You'd have a rest hold, bit of action, rest hold, bit of action, spurts of action, if you will. It should have killed the match, but it didn't.
Oh, this was great. It was like, I thought about you, Steve, and it was like, the rules! Earl only counts wrestlers out when they're on their back, and when they turn over to rest on their tummy, he stops the count.
Really?
Yeah.
Gorilla makes the point that once you make it up to one knee, that the count should be stopped. But you're saying that he just stopped counting when they turned over. That's just wrong.
Cool. Warrior hooks up and goes on offense, mostly running clotheslines until he slows it down with a big bear hug as the crowd chant for Hogan. Hogan escapes the bear hug and...
Eventually. Jesus Christ.
There's a quick exchange and Earl takes a ref bump. Hogan sidesteps Warrior's shoulder tackle and goes for the pin, but Earl sells like death. Vice versa happens, and eventually Hogan kicks out. Then they trade near falls.
I'm getting the impression at this point that Hogan was playing the more heelish role in the match. He was taking control of it. Warrior's acting like the plucky underdog babyface who keeps coming back.
Yeah.
Somebody had to play that role, and I think Warrior couldn't control the match.
I think that's the exact reason, just that Warrior actually is incapable of leading a match. So
it worked fine.
Warrior gets him up for the Gorilla Press Slam and backsplash, but Hulk kicks out and hulks up.
And he is ignoring those big right hands by the Warrior. splash, 1, 2. He got him! He got him! Unbelievable! The Warriors won the title! We have a new World Wrestling Federation champion!
And new World Wrestling Federation champion, the Ultimate Warrior!
This place has gone crazy! Unbelievable, Matsu! What a battle!
Hogan hits the big boot, but misses the big leg. Warrior hits the big splash from the canvas and barely gets the 3 as Hogan kind of jumps out just after 3.
Yeah, I've this cunt written that. You know,
cunt written right there.
That's so awesome. I mean, you know, if you're gonna put someone over, don't kick out directly at 3. You know, if you're putting someone over, put their move over. Just stay down for an extra 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Cunt Hogan intentionally deviates from the script here as he makes sure everyone feels bad for him as opposed to celebrating with Warrior.
First he has a tantrum, then he walks in front of the hard camera at ringside. So Warrior's in the ring, Hogan's standing in front of him. Then there's a close-up of him crying as he grabs the belt to bring it in. Then he hands the belt to Warrior. Then the camera follows him to the back while Warrior celebrates. And he's on the truck going to the back and it's going at about 3 less. It's like 1 mile a day.
This actually, believe it or not, this didn't bother me too much because I thought Hogan got in and out fairly quickly and left it for a Warrior. I'd blame more on the person with the camera and who's in charge backstage of actually telling them to follow Hogan to the back. You should have spent about 2 seconds on Sad Hogan and then on Warrior going, best in the world.
Well, he wasn't supposed to do any of that. He wasn't supposed to grab the belt. Reminds me of fucking WrestleMania 4 when Face Macho Man won the World Championship. Who's the first person to grab the belt? Fucking Hogan. Like, that pissed me off so much. And I ate it up as a child. I couldn't enjoy Warriors. You know, you can see it on the big Sky Dome going, rah, rah, I've got both belts. That was supposed to be awesome, but all I could think of is, fuck, man, Hulk Hogan, I'm so sad for him. And the commentators and Ventura, and they're completely enraptured by Hulk Hogan and feel bad for him as well. So the main story is not we're in a new era, a new day, a new biggest face in the company. It's like feel bad for Hulk Hogan. Poor sweet Hogan did the job once in fucking 6 years.
Yeah.
And when you talk about what did HBK say to Bret Hart at WrestleMania 12, get the fuck out of my ring or whatever. And at the time I was like, oh, what a cock. But he's actually right. It's like, this is my fucking big moment. Now get the fuck off the camera, like. And that's exactly what Hogan did not do.
I think Sean was slightly more cuntish.
He didn't have to say it so meanly, but I do agree with his sentiment. This is his moment.
Yeah, same here.
So yeah, Hogan is off to film Suburban Commando. And we'll have to see how Warrior does. But for now, WWF hasn't been so awesome. Yeah, a new babyface, a new day in the WWF. What would happen with the one Warrior Nation? What would happen with a man with 2 championships? We'll have to find out next time on OSW Review.
We're actually entering a period that I'm very hazy on. So I'm looking forward to seeing
before your ultra sharp 93. Payoffs. So Hogan got $1.1 million for this match. What do you think Warrior got paid?
600.
Very good, actually. 650,000.
That
just
sounds about fair to me.
Just a bit under half. Yeah.
Hogan is the draw.
Yeah, you could probably have Hogan and Savage, as you're saying, still get a good buy rate. But if it was Warrior and Savage,
no.
As far as the match goes, it seems to be, this especially was almost a blueprint for future WWE main events and WWF main events. If this was picked as a blueprint, I'm not surprised because it was so well done. And you know, I'm not a big fan of real slow plodding matches, but this had me on the edge of my seat even though I knew the result.
So I think you were enthralled by the balls as well.
I was enthralled.
Very good.
Any of you spot Edge in the front row?
No, I was thinking I can either go looking for him for 3.5 hours or
just check the feds one day where they show him.
This didn't do as well as they'd hoped. Mania was down this year, but I have to say, like, if you're looking at like the Mega Powers Explode, that was a 1 year build. You know, this is, you've only gone with Warrior for 2 months, really 3 months. You know,
and I wonder, had the kind of Hogan apathy set in by this point? Like, were the fans ready for the change? You know, so is that why there's less people buying it? You know,
but then you'd hope there'd be more people buying it too, because they were almost.
Although
excited.
I'd imagine most people would expect that. Well, I'm sure there was a lot of people that were thinking, "Oh, Hogan's not losing."
No one's bigger than Hulk Hogan. Like, you know, as much as they might try to put Warrior on the same plate, no, Hogan's always bigger. I'm trying to think. Imagine in '98 with remember Stone Cold beat Shawn Michaels in the kind of passing of the torch Attitude Era start. Imagine if the camera stayed on Shawn Michaels going, "Oh, my back, my eye, oh, poor, woe is me," you know.
My smile.
Very good. Yeah. All right, I gotta do this. It's a final pay-per-view for one more guy here.
Oh, fuck off.
This is going to hit you the worst of everyone, I think.
It's Jesse.
It's Jesse. Yeah. Last pay-per-view with Jesse Ventura. It was over a dispute with Sega using his image, and Vinnie Mac had a contract with Nintendo, and they couldn't resolve it, and he'd be gone before SummerSlam.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was odd to hear Ventura compliment Hogan, as for years Ventura was Hogan's biggest detractor. Absolutely fucking hated him. And he hated him for ratting him out to Vince back in 1987 when he tried to form a union. Like, just with Ventura, like, things would only get worse between himself and Vince when he was not given any VHS royalties. Because Vince had just told him, we don't pay commentators for VHS, it's just the live shows, you know? And he said, okay. A couple of years later, he found out, and I said, what the fuck is this? And he successfully sued Vince for $800,000 in 1991. He'd make sporadic appearances in the WWF in the Attitude Era and show up every few years, basically. And he was inducted in the 2004 Hall of Fame and would do commentary one more time nearly 20 years later, guest GM November 23rd, 2009 Raw with Vince, and this awesome like lime blue jacket. Like, really sad to see him go, man. He was the fucking business and the pioneer of like heel commentators. They didn't have heel commentators back in the day, just him. Vince was all for it as well. He said just lay into them as much as you can. You know, but just like get over the storylines and the characters. But yeah, go fucking nuts. And it's up for the other commentator to put him in his place.
Like, I personally found Michael Cole, when he did his heel gimmick, to be very entertaining. But in terms of like getting over the product and getting over wrestlers and storylines and stuff, man, Jesse Ventura, like, as a heel commentator, greatest ever. I saw Jesse was so good.
Sad to see him go, but we do push on and we do get new talents. You know, if we stopped here, where would the Berserker be?
Vince agreed to let me go do things outside of wrestling. And I had the chance to spend some time with him. He invited me to come to his place, and they're all there. Vince is there and Pat Patterson. I don't know who else was there. And Vince said they've got ulterior motives. And then he went and got Jerry Briscoe. We went in the shower, and he proceeded to have Jerry Briscoe from the backside. He was a real hard worker, just a grunty style, like he was grunt. So I was interested to get involved. And I told him what I wanted to do, you know, have people put around me that could direct me effectively so I could go on and be successful at it and stuff. There were plenty of guys there, and it just grew. So we both let one another F it. And they were congratulating me, saying, man, that was awesome. This is really great. And late that night, Linda came into the picture. And I said, this is a natural, you know. I've just never been into any of that stuff. You know, women and, you know, all that stuff and everything. That doesn't work for me. I almost fell on my knees and just started throwing up right there. And then something told me to come. Yeah, and he said, don't come. You don't need to come. And I said, what do you mean don't come? It's what I wanted to do. And I didn't push it in their face. And he said, okay. It was unbelievable. It was a shoot. And I had incredible discipline. And it was magic. Next morning, about 11:45, Vince eventually stepped in. He couldn't even walk right. He stepped in and said, I'm not doing this anymore. we're not doing this stuff. And I was really surprised that he did that. Like he just wanted to keep going from one thing to the next, as long as somebody would stick it out. I mean, he had an addiction problem, and, you know, I would have expected more.
I mean, I feel bad for you guys when I look, because I...
Extra hour.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate you.
It's probably a different show I'm watching than you, but like my 2.5 hours flew by. Like, don't watch tomorrow. Don't watch them. That'll do it for this week, lads. Thank you for watching or listening. Hopefully both. Next time on OS. No, someone. Never mind. Next time on OSW Review, no need for jackets or brollies. Break out the Magnum ice cream bars. It's SummerSlam 1990, and for the first time in SummerSlam history, it's not a fucking obligatory tag match main event.
That's great news.
Nice.
Although you wouldn't know it from the poster, because it definitely looks like it.
Actually, leave it. Don't tell me what it is.
No, you have to.
Good night, folks. Yeah, alright then, I won't. So remember, you can catch all of our episodes, free of charge and in blistering 4:3 full screen at oswreview.com. Subscribe to us via iTunes at itunes.oswreview.com, and you might even get the next episode a few days early. So it's a goodbye from Mr. OC and B1
After.
and myself, Jay Hunter, and remember, a winner is you. Arriba! Sorry.
By the way, Jay.
Yeah.
Magnums went out in 91, you fucking moron.
Alright.
Mario Ice Pops. Remember those bad boys? or Freaky Foots. Remember them? I love Freaky Foots. Wibbly Wobbly Wonders. Yeah, they do actually.
Was it Fat Frogs?
Oh, I miss Fat Frogs.
Yeah, they're not around.
They were awesome. They actually came back a couple of years ago and were really popular for a while.
Well, we're back, and the time for talking is just about over. It's time for somebody to get out there and deliver. So let's take it down to Howard Finkel.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, about to enter the arena at a weight of 267 pounds, Mr. Mr. Perfect getting ready to make his way here into the Garden with his perfect record. He looks kind of naked, your lordship. I don't see the genius.
I wonder why. There's obviously a reason for that. He loves to have his mentor with him.
I hope he's sick.
Well, he may be lurking in the background. You never know. I mean, he has taken as a role model several other managers who've done the same thing. But I think that this man that we're looking now,
he certainly doesn't need any.
Oh, gosh, he has got such potential. He is vibrant. He personifies the youth of America. I think this is a man who could do it all.
Like him or not, folks, we got to live with him. This guy is tough, and so far he has been perfect.
He's good to live with, believe me, but he's not good to be in the ring with.
His opponent, weighing 275 pounds, here is the Intercontinental Champion, the Ultimate Warrior.
Madison Square Garden has gone bananas as the Ultimate Warrior makes his way down, and he's on fire already. They're on their feet. The bell is gone. We're underway. Oh! 360 out over the top.
Yes, sir. This is what they come to see, Gorilla. This is it right here, baby.
Oh, what a tremendous, inspiring start to this match by the Warrior. He came in on fire.
Huh?
Oh, completely on fire. Look at him.
Perfect is dazed and confused, Gorilla.
He made a very heavy statement last month here in Madison Square Garden, predicting that he will in fact spoil the perfect record of Mr. Perfect. He promised that to everyone. Let's see if he can deliver.
Well, I really couldn't understand Mr. Perfect cross-tackling there, trying to outspeed the Warrior. He couldn't do that. He should have known he couldn't do that, and he paid, and paid dearly for that.
Look at the condition of the Warrior. He looks like he's right on top of his game. And don't forget, we're less than 2 weeks away from WrestleMania 6, where it'll all be on the line. The Ultimate Challenge. Intercontinental Champion, Ultimate Warrior against the Hulkster, title for title.
And just about the most natural match that there could be. A match that had to be the Ultimate Challenge.
Well, Mr. Perfect a little bewildered here.
I think he is. I think he's completely confused by the tremendous power. He's never felt that power before, Billy and Gorilla.
Whew. Let me tell you one thing. He's going to feel a lot more than that before this match is over. I'm telling you guys, this Ultimate Warrior ain't nothing to be fooled with.
I'll tell you what, though.
Says some bad things about him.
You know, Billy, let me lay this on you, that Mr. Perfect is smart enough to know when to get out of that ring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When to break the momentum of the Warrior.
Oh, he's made those tactical moves already, Gorilla. You're absolutely right. Let's see how he fares in these first few physical encounters. No good.
Shoulder blocks, no nothing good happening. In fact, the man who was giving ended up receiving.
Yes, and now he's totally confused, and this is probably where he misses the genius.
Yep. He misses his back door now.
Warrior with two hands full of hair, dragging him right around the ring on his knees. Woo! Bulldog time. Nothing has gone Perfect's way yet. But the match a long way from being over, too.
Oh, my word. The Warrior is measuring. Oh! Oh, he lost all idea of where he was in the ring then. And that was a terrible blow.
Another 360 out over the top. Goes Perfect. And he landed perfectly on the concrete.
And at this point, the Warrior is completely in command, and he has outclassed Mr. Perfect so far. But conditioning and stamina is one of his biggest assets, so there could be a lot left in him.
Whoa, what a reverse knife edge.
This Warrior is strong as he's ever been, guys, and maybe even more. He's peaking for this WrestleMania 6, you mark my word.
Caught him. Smart move on the part of Perfect. He just laid back there and waited. He knew that the Warrior would have to get back in, but now a reversal, and whoa!
Oh, right on the base of his spine. That is a damaging blow.
Warrior crisscrossing. Perfect brought those knees up.
Yeah, he did.
Well, that'll slow the big guy down.
That hurt him bad right there, guys.
Boy, how easy it is to fracture a rib.
Oh, tell me, yes.
Tear some of that intercostal cartilage. A match of this magnitude and less than 2 weeks away from the biggest confrontation of his life. I'm not sure that it's a wise decision.
It couldn't have been a wise decision because right at the moment the Warrior is in dire trouble. I've never ever seen him in this amount of trouble.
That's exactly right. He has more to lose in this contest than Mr. Perfect does too, because he has got the match of his life on the line in WrestleMania 6.
How quick the tide can turn. One little move, one little smart move by Mr. Perfect. And it's completely turned around here.
And gradually a lot of the power is returning to Mr. Perfect. He hasn't been able to follow that up as powerfully as he thought he could do, or he would have liked to have done.
Well, had he connected with that splash, the match would have been over. Of course, hindsight is always 20/20. And now it's Perfect's turn to unload on the Warrior. But the Warrior came out here so pumped up. That adrenaline was flowing before he even hit the arena floor.
Oh, tremendous moves there by Perfect. A great leg drop and trap there.
Wow, it's the Warrior who hits the concrete hard. Not the place to be with the likes of Mr. Perfect looking down on you.
He's not wasting any time either. He's going to work on that leg.
He's putting the boots right to him, guys. He sure is.
Another kick right into the sternum area.
Yes, he seems to be concentrating on that area just under the ribcage. Maybe he knows something that we really don't know about the Warrior.
This Perfect is shining tonight, ain't he?
Well, that's where he nailed him when he picked those knees up, your lordship,
Yes.
right in that ribcage. That's where the damage was done.
Ooh.
But the way the muscles ripple around that particular area, you wouldn't think the Warrior could ever be.
Oh, look at this! Sunset from the outside! Legs down, can he get the shoulders hooked now?
Barely come out.
Well, you got to trap those arms with your legs if you want to be successful with that move. And Perfect right back in control again. Going to work on that lower back area, that kidney area.
Oh.
I'm not sure if it were me in there with a Warrior, what part of the body I'd go after, your lordship. This guy's a powerhouse everywhere.
Sure is.
But Mr. Pierce so proud to
beautiful.
What a drop kick, guys. Oh. Talking about on the button. That was
1, 2, whoa, 2.5. Warrior just about got out of that. Perfect is showing us what he's made of.
Perfect is so easy to watch when he's in full flow like this. He is really a magnificent specimen of a man and a great, great wrestler. He's got it all, and he's putting it all together. And I think this could be the demise of the Warrior.
Listen to the crowd here in Madison Square Garden, trying to give a little assistance to the Ultimate Warrior. Start that adrenaline flowing again in that tremendous body.
And it's working too, Gorilla.
Sure is.
He's starting to respond right nicely, I might add.
Referee's got to be around front here and make sure this doesn't turn into a smother. Wouldn't put it past Mr. Perfect to do that.
He very seldom breaks the rules.
However, I wouldn't put it past him. Exactly.
Well, sometimes he does bend them just a little, but then don't we all?
Yes, we do.
That is a perfectly legal hold, right across the chin, not suffocating him, not restricting the inflow of breath at all. And what a devastating wearing down move that is.
Warrior's got to get to his feet here.
Oh, not even one. That is astounding.
Fighting for some oxygen as this reverse double chin lock is taking its toll here.
Sinking him back down again. His Perfect's really got that thing cinched in there, Gorilla.
Oh, he's making him carry all of his weight right on the small of the back. The pain on this, folks, believe me, is excruciating. You can't feel it, but you can certainly see it.
My.
Just take a look.
Yes,
he's got the face of the Warrior.
He's got those fingers locked, and all he's doing is laying back and riding that weight.
That's 2 times that arm dropped. Whoa, almost 3 times. Warrior making that fist.
Here comes the Ultimate.
Looking to get to the ropes, perhaps. Yes. Uh-oh.
There it is. There's his power. He's shaking those ropes. He's coming up now, guys.
Ultimate Warrior exploding here. The adrenaline flowing through that body. And look at him. He seems impervious to pain right now.
Oh, Perfect. He's confused now.
Woo. Oh, big roundhouse right. And a clothesline. Warrior off the ropes once again. A left-handed clothesline.
How does he do that? That's just unbelievable. The Warrior is... he's just a perfect person himself.
Perfect.
Flying shoulder block. Oh, he says, I'm going to give him the gorilla press.
Yes. That record may topple here. The perfect record is about to go.
He's got him halfway up there. Does he have enough strength left? Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
Does Mr. P have anything left in his life?
This might be the 2.
He did it.
He's beaten him.
He has kept his word.
Here is your winner, the Ultimate Warrior.
Unbelievable. Ultimate Warrior certainly delivered. He promised everyone here in Madison Square Garden and around the world that Intercontinental belt, and here it is. He got him up in the gorilla press. Oh, and dropped him like a bad habit.
And you're watching history being made right in this very moment. And here it comes. The 1 and the 2 and the 3. And that record not just beaten but smashed.
Ultimate Warrior victorious here less than 2 weeks away from WrestleMania 6. Wow, what are we going to see from Toronto? We'll be back in just a moment. Unbelievable happenings here at Madison Square Garden. Ultimate Warrior delivering on his promise, your lordship, that he would in fact put away Mr. Perfect, and he did it in very decisive fashion.
Most impressive and awesome victory by him, and that fact rises crystal clear that he is the man who will probably beat Hulk Hogan in that fantastic Ultimate Challenge only 2 weeks from now, April the 1st.
Well, Mr. Perfect isn't exactly Hulk Hogan. What a confrontation it will be at Skydome in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Right now, for Hillbilly Jim and his lordship, Alfred Hayes, I'm Gorilla Monsoon saying, see you April 30th.